So what's going on in the Glenwood South area? It's a big topic of discussion right now in Raleigh. The city's either just passed a noise ordinance. I want to talk to a little bit about that. I go down there quite often, late at night, not to frequent the businesses down there, but really just I have an opportunity to check things out, and see what's going on. It is a big part of the commercial district downtown, and there are special problems in that particular section. And I want to talk a little bit about Glenwood South, just what goes on down there and what I think the problems are and what I like. There's some things I've seen down there lately that I really like. First of all, there's several different groups. If you go down to Glenwood South, like 8 o'clock on a Friday night, there's nothing too unusual. It's really not until after 9, 10 o'clock that it really starts getting crowded and a lot really starts happening in there. Most of the folks who go down there are under 30. And they're, if you go down the whole 6 blocks there coming out from downtown on the Glenwood Avenue Strip, there are places there that are restaurants that just about every age group goes into. But when we're talking about the late night Glenwood South problems, you're really talking more after 9 o'clock, 9:30. This is when the younger folks tend to come in there. They typically have been drinking already a lot of times when they come in there, or they haven't been. So it's an under 30 crowd, and it gets extremely crowded down there. So what there has been historically a really bad traffic problem through there at that point, especially on Saturday nights, that the police have had to deal with. There's no left turning during that time at sort of a help. But I think the biggest problem is there's just a lot of people who cruise that strip and puts a lot of traffic on there, plus taxis and Uber drivers picking people up and letting people off. It tended to clog the area up there. Pedestrians, so that you couldn't turn right. That clogs it up because there's a lot of pedestrians and everything. Recently, the police have set up cones at a certain time in the evening to essentially block you off from driving straight down Glenwood South, those 6 blocks there. And that is an extremely big help. It also forces the people on the side streets to either take right turns or not be able to turn into Glenwood Avenue at all. Essentially, that block would be blocked off. Tremendous help in there. That has gotten rid of the folks who are driving the Miracle Mile in there and just cruising up and down the road, and has made it very much better for pedestrians and for just in general keeping the traffic out of there. It just seems like the side streets aren't backed up like they used to be, and that was a really great move. I really hope that they continue to keep that in there. As we get on later in the evening, you have residents who live down there. Quite a few of those are older citizens, and the noise has been a big issue. I think there's 3 different problems. One is the establishments. To me, that should be pretty easy to solve. And I think part of what's happening with this noise ordinance will make that pretty simple. But that's just, these places can do business and keep their crowds in there without really cranking up the music. It's just not necessary. The second thing that I've seen is car noise. To me, this just ought to be a straightforward thing of putting out some heavy fines in these cars that go in there and do the nuclear explosion with the exhaust systems. This is really a dangerous, bad thing. If you're under a bridge or something with one of these people firing this thing off, where they make the big sonic boom noise, that's dangerous. I mean, I could see where older folks might be startled by this, or anyone for that matter. And we need to have some law enforcement somehow written into the code that you just can't do this, that citations need to be issued on this. The third area is the crowd noise, which I I'm going to be hard pressed to see that that's the general crowd noise, that's going to be able to be controlled. I just really don't see how they're going to do that. Now, with individuals, that's a whole different deal. Someone's out there with a bullhorn, or making some type of noises by cranking up a stereo system. Cars, I'd like to see that being controlled, where people are just rolling through there and jacking up the music. The big bass, everyone knows what I'm talking about. We should be issuing citations on this type of stuff. So I think it probably, the arrangement with the cones and keeping people from driving that strip is probably, I would think, eliminated a lot of the noise. So I heard one of the city council folks want to make sure that free speech is being observed. Well, after 11 o'clock at night, as far as I'm concerned, there's not free speech with a bullhorn out on the city streets. Shouldn't be. So anyway, those are just my views of what's going on down there. I will say this in closing, though. Nothing good happens after 11 o'clock at night with alcohol, except for merchants making money. And, you know I'm not proposing that we move in the curfew on this, but there's always going to be a problem with this when you have late out night alcohol, young people, and a open district, or a district like that has a strip of places. The only way that I could see that you could really break this up was to shut down the density in there, but that's part of what people go there for. So I'm sympathetic with the merchants in there. They're making a living. That's their paycheck there on Friday and Saturday nights. But I would look for the merchants to really cooperate with the city on making this stuff right, because it's got to be right for the residents out there, and it's got to be right for all of Raleigh. And hopefully the merchants are anxious to work with the city on this, and we diffuse the problems before they just get out of shape. One other thing I will say too is that Glenwood South has attracted more and more, I think, of sort of a bad crowd in there. And that is that, along with homeless folks that are scattered around in there, I think is a little bit of powder keg. I hope that putting the additional manpower there with the contract, the security people, that I hope that's sort of helping in identifying problems and keeping a lot of things. There is something to this general occupation, and that will keep things from getting worse and hopefully turn it back. This is Whitney for Raleigh, Whitney Hill. If you like this message, I appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. And if you like this channel, please subscribe to it. Tell 3 people that you know about it. And I try to keep you up on Raleigh politics, on what's happening with Raleigh and my views on it. So thanks for watching again on this video, and I'll talk with you later.